Welcome to this week's edition of the Butler Beat. I'm Mike Ellis.
And I'm Krista Miller. The new SGA president-elect, Al Carroll, is soon to be one of the most well-known faces on campus. But who is the man behind the suit? Mike Vandervoort reports.
On November 6, 1990, in Titusville, Florida, a boy was born to Napoleon and Glenda Carroll. Napoleon Alfonso Carroll III, or Al for short. Their son was a fascinating young man. He grew up playing sports and acting in plays, but he always had other interests. Al was popular with his peers, and he was even elected Astronaut High School SGA president as a sophomore. His senior year, he was even voted homecoming king. Although Al has been somewhat of an outgoing figure, he still enjoys things close to home.
My parents are extremely important to me, my family in general. I know having an ambitious child can sometimes be hard, but they've always supported me 100% financially or emotionally. I know
Al somehow found the strength to leave his family and the heat of Florida to attend Butler University, a change he welcomed with open arms. Since arriving, he's attained many accomplishments: freshman caucus chair, SGA parliamentarian, and now president. Al is also an RA in Ross Hall and has made quite a bond with his residents.
I remember being the first few weeks here was pretty intimidating. It was a totally new thing in life, and Al was kind of the person that I always felt like was there for me and I could go to.
Al has achieved quite a bit with his young life, but he says there is still a lot more to come.
Like a major corporation or a major company, and try to work my way up. That's probably the most realistic goal. But I think that if I was going to stretch for anything, it would probably be to be like the president of a college university, do the Bobby Fong, if you will.
All in all, President-elect Al Carroll is just a fun-loving guy with dreams and a heart of gold.
For the Butler Beat, I'm Mike Vandervoort.
The Butler University Office of Admission is seeing an increase in applications this year. According to Dean of Admissions Scott Ham, the office has already reviewed more than 9,000 applications and is expecting more. Last year, the office received nearly 7,000 applications. Ham says Butler plans on capping next year's freshman class around 1,000 students.
Ultimately, we're looking at a lot of data and creating our best educated guess on how many students we think will accept the offer.
Already, the admittance rate has dropped more than 12% from last year. Final admission statistics will be tallied after the May 1st National Candidates Reply date.
Butler physician assistant students are gaining real-world experience right here on Butler's campus. Natalie Evans has more on what these students are doing to better prepare themselves for the healthcare industry.
Hi, my name is Chanda. I'm a physician assistant student.
Nice to meet you.
And I'm going to be doing a physical exam on you today.
Following a lecture and full demonstration, it's routine for Butler professor Michelle Schultz to divide her AP 405 students into pairs to perform physical exams on each other. Schultz describes what makes this course so interactive.
Second semester, then we have specialty exams, sensitive exams. So they learn how to do exams on pregnant ladies. That's why we bring them into the lab here. They learn how to do exams on males, and that is the sensitive components. We have real male models that come into the lab that allow the students to practice doing the physicals on them. And we have real female models that also come into the exam and let the students do pap smears and breast exams and those kinds of things. We bring in toddlers into the lab and let the students work with toddlers because they can be kind of challenging. And they go out into the field and they go to newborn nursery, learn how to do physical exams on neonates.
Professor Schultz assists the student as he listens for a mother's fetal heart rate. She places ads in the Butler Connection seeking mothers at 30 to 34 weeks gestation because the baby is then big enough to undergo various examinations. As well as patients in the community, students have access to practice models. Second-year PA student Shonda Jordan describes some of the challenges faced in AP 405.
I think it's a time balance. You always want to try to get in here and keep your skills up and remember how to do things and when to do them. And you really have to prepare for, at the end of the semester, we'll do a 25-minute head-to-toe physical exam. So you really have to get your time down for that and remember all the things that are critical fails.
Professor Schultz' PA students will be working with infants at Methodist Hospital 3 days this week, Tuesday through Thursday.
A familiar face is returning to the Butler Athletic Department. Bill Lynch is enjoying his new role with Butler Athletics as Associate Athletics Director of Development. Lynch is returning to Hinkle Fieldhouse, where he earned 4 letters as the captain of the basketball team. Lynch also served as Butler's head football coach and led the team to 4 conference titles in 5 seasons. Lynch is settling into his role with the athletic department. His duties include working closely with Athletic Director Barry Collier and soliciting gifts to support the department. Lynch served as Indiana's head football coach last year, but doesn't see a big change between the two.
Well, you know, to me, this is coming home, so it's not going to be a big difference. I think if someone had never been to Butler, knew what it was all about, then going from the Big Ten here, it might be a different kind of an adjustment. But you know, for me, this is, you know, again, I spent so much time here. I you know, enjoyed my time at Indiana. I enjoyed coaching in the Big Ten. But when it was over, I was ready to move on, and this was a good place to go.
Butler is saying goodbye to a longtime employee who has left quite a mark on the campus. Butler Beat's Mike Ellis has more.
What do the HRC, the Apartment Village, Fairbanks Center, and the Butler Bowl renovations have in common?
Mike, come on, give it up for Mike.
Vice President of Operations Mike Gardner played a role in constructing all of them. Gardner, who has worked at Butler since 1990, will be leaving the campus for a local firm called Energy Solutions. On Monday, a bevy of administrators, faculty, and staff packed into Irwin Library to say their goodbyes.
When you work with Mike, it's not a business relationship, it's a friendship. And that's the legacy that he leaves behind with all of the people that have worked with him. He's our friend.
Gardner's list of accomplishments during his 2-decade tenure at Butler is plentiful, but he says it's the people who have made his experience most enjoyable.
Truly, I'm most proud of all of the people that I work with, because they are responsible for all of the things that we've done to the campus, whether it be landscaping, whether it be new buildings, whether it be just taking care of the place, whether it be public safety. I'm most proud of the folks that I work with.
Gardner received a mixed bag of parting gifts from his colleagues. President Bobby Fong decorated him with the Presidential Medal of Distinction. Police Chief Ben Hunter had a tad more fun with his boss.
Your favorite quote is that we don't have a parking problem.
He's been a tremendous leader, a tremendous boss, so that void will be missed for sure.
In departing, the self-described Irish mutt from Wisconsin led the throng in a blessing.
May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. I will not be a stranger, so go Dogs.
For the Butler Beat, this is Mike Ellis.
Stay tuned to find out who the Butler basketball team could potentially play this weekend in the Horizon League tournament.
We'll be back with more Butler news in a minute.